Welcome back, everyone. Today we're gonna be making pretzels, homemade pretzels. They're so soft, chewy, impressive, but very simple to make. So without further ado, let's get cooking. Now, very, very simple. Making doughs, you always have some sort of moist mixture, and then you've got your flour mixture. In our case, we've got just water, yeast, butter, and sugar, salt, and baking soda. Our baking soda is actually not meant for our dough, it's meant for our water, which we're gonna get to in a second. But let's just start off with our moist mixture, okay? This is just some warm water here. We've got dry active yeast. I like using quick active yeast, just speeds things along a little bit. First thing we're gonna do is just dissolve that yeast into our warm water mixture. This helps wake up our yeast, let them know it's time to do their job, which at the end of the day is going to be helping our dough rise. Next, we've added our melted butter. This is just melted unsalted butter. Right? I like to use unsalted versus salted because then I can control the amount of salt content that goes into my dough versus relying on the salt from the butter. Next, I've got my brown sugar and my salt. Now, brown sugar versus white sugar, because brown sugar has a little bit of molasses in it, and molasses adds that depth of flavor. So once all of my salt, sugar, and yeast has been dissolved, it's time to marry my wet and my dry mixture. So I just start off by using my fist to create a well in the center of my dry ingredients. Right? That's like creating a bowl within a bowl. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and pour my wet ingredients right into my dry, paying careful attention to getting every last drop of my wet into my dry ingredients. This ensures that my dough is evenly moist. It's not too dry, it's not too wet, right? I get every last drop in there. It's also important because I've got my salt, my sugar, and my yeast, and those are all important ingredients to my final dough. Okay, from here, I'm gonna take just a small rubber spatula and I'm gonna mix my ingredients together, slowly incorporating the two. We always add our wet to our dry versus our dry to our wet because it makes for an easier incorporation. Because we'll be kneading our dough, we don't really worry too much about any clumps forming at this stage. Our dough is gonna undergo 3 stages, okay? The first is off the wall stage, okay? This is when our dough starts to come off the wall of our bowl. Okay, the next, it's gonna be quite lumpy. All right, all of our dry ingredients have been incorporated into our wet. And the final stage that we're looking for is called the skin stage. This is when we know that our dough has been kneaded enough. Now, depending on the weather outside, you might need a little extra flour. If it's raining and super moist or humid, usually there's a lot more moisture in the air, which means there's more moisture in our dough, which means we're gonna need a little extra flour. So in my case, it's a bit raining outside today, and to no surprise, I'm gonna need a little extra flour to get my dough together. Now, you can always add more, but you can't take away. So don't get too heavy-handed with your extra flour. Add a little bit at a time until your dough is just right. Your dough should be tacky, meaning it's a little sticky to the touch, but not sticky to the point where dough is coming off and onto your hands. So that's what we're looking for, is tacky, but not too sticky. So I'm gonna wait until my dough is at the right consistency before I remove it from my bowl and continue to knead on my counter. So I'm gonna wait until my dough is the right consistency before I remove it from my bowl and continue to knead on the counter. So the purpose of our sugar and our salt is pretty simple. It's just to add a little bit more flavor to our dough. So I've demonstrated in other videos my kneading technique, which is really straightforward. Right? Using the heel of your hand, think of your dough as a face. Yep, you've got your forehead, your cheeks, and your chin. So you always take the forehead and tuck it to the chin and push away from your body before turning the dough and doing it all over again. As you can see, I'm sprinkling a little bit extra dough on, a little bit of extra flour onto my dough, just because it's a bit sticky, but I'm always adding just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to dry out your dough with dry flour, and also dry flour doesn't have any flavor. So by adding too much flour, not only will you dry out your dough, but you're also going to dilute the flavors, that sugar, that salt, that butter. You're not going to be able to taste it as good if you have too much dry flour. Now pretzels, we associate pretzels with being chewy and having a chewy texture. That chew comes from two places. First is, of course, the gluten that we are developing in our dough. We've talked about gluten in the past. This is the protein that is found in wheat flour. So as we knead, that gluten is activated and becomes stronger and stronger. And that strength turns into that chew that we associate with pretzels. The second application of that chewiness comes from our boiling, our bath, that we're going to actually boil our dough before baking it. So by boiling it, that helps also solidify the gluten and the starches in the pretzel dough, which eventually, once baked, will lend to a chewy texture. After about 5 to 10 minutes kneading, all it depends is how much effort and how fast you've been going, it is time to check if our dough is done and we've kneaded it enough. Once again, similar to some other recipes, first test is the bounce back. If you just press and see it bounce back at you, that's a good indication that you're almost there or there. Next is just taking a look at just the outside of our dough. Okay, we call this skin stage. If your dough is nice and smooth, almost like as smooth as skin, no more bumps or lumps, that's also a good clue to tell you that you're close. And last but not least, we've got the window stage, where we just take a small piece of dough, we kind of stretch it out, and if you can get the dough almost as thin where you can see through it like a window, you're good to go. That's the final stage. If you got the window, you're solid. Now that we've developed the gluten structure, it's time to let our dough have a little rest. So we're gonna let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes so that the gluten structure can relax, those strands can relax, and then we'll be able to manipulate our dough shortly. It's time to take our nicely rested dough and get that into a nice pretzel shape. You're just gonna take that dough out of the bowl. Make sure your surface is nice and floured or else your dough will stick. And now we're gonna divide this dough into 12 equal pieces. Kind of cut down the center, take each half, cut that in half, and then cut those halves into 3 equal pieces. It's important that the pieces are approximately the same size so that you get an even, consistent pretzel. Okay, now that we have our pretzel pieces, it's time to shape them. So at this stage, you actually don't want your surface to be that floured because it will stop your dough from being able to roll properly. But from here, we're gonna roll it. Don't know how long. Okay, so roll to a nice long snake. You're going to, on the table, twist twice and bring them down, and then just reshape.
An important step is boiling our pretzels before they get baked. And more importantly, we boil it in a solution of just water and baking soda. Baking soda alkalizes our water, which number 1 gives our pretzels that dark color, and number 2 helps our pretzels get that nice chewy texture that we sought out for them.
So we only boil our pretzels for about 20 to 30 seconds. This is just enough time for us to get that color and that chew. If you boil them for too long, then they will become waterlogged, meaning the water will penetrate the dough and become very wet. It's important that you flip your pretzels as well to get them boiled on both sides. Make sure those pretzels get a good drip before transferring them to your sheet pan. And of course, we got to put our salt on there, which not only adds a nice crunchy texture, but adds a nice salty taste.